Hello, everybody. We will be having this session starting very quickly, and we're very happy that all of you are here to attend this session. This session will be conducted by Fakruddin Rahif, who is the senior security analyst at CyberSapiens, and I would suggest we wait for 3 more minutes or 5 more minutes until we have more people join in. Also, I'm sure you will be having a lot of questions related to this session, and I will be sharing a link over here and I'll be pinning it. Any questions you have, please upload that in this link and it will be answered by our senior security analyst. So I believe we have enough candidates, so we could get started with this. So yeah, Raif can start the session, and I did share the link for all of your questions, which will be answered by Raif. So please make sure you can check out the chat where the link is there, and you'll find all the you can ask your own questions, and Raif will answer it for you. Raif, we can get started with this.
Hello everyone, hope I am audible. Somebody can you confirm whether my voice is clear?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, yeah, give me a minute. Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar. I hope you guys are doing good. So welcome to CyberSapiens. So who exactly are CyberSapiens? So who are we? We are cybersecurity experts committed to securing the digital world. So we provide different kind of services for business like ISO 27001 certification. And we also give different VAPT services like network VAPT, web application VAPT, mobile application VAPT, API VAPT, cloud VAPT, which includes AWS and Azure. And apart from that, we have other services like infrastructure VAPT, IoT security testing, thin and thick client security testing. So apart from that, we also have SOC analysis and malware analysis. And we also have GRC consultant and phishing and malware simulation. So we have our own product, our company built product, that is FishCare, the first line of phishing defense. So this is actually a phishing simulation tool built by CyberSapiens itself. So this tool mainly checks for the phishing awareness. It creates phishing awareness between your organization, inside your organization. It checks for the maturity level of your employees. So this is about the fish care. So apart from that, we also provide cybersecurity training and employee awareness. So to know more about our services and about the CyberSapiens company, you can visit cybersapiens.com.au. So you can contact us for any of the services. So you can take a screenshot of this QR code, or else you can directly visit this link via browser, and you can just know more about our services and the different about our products, what we give. Okay. So coming to today's topic, a day in Azure Pentester's life. So in this session today, what we will be doing is we will be looking into an Azure Pentester's life. So what are the different knowledge he is supposed to have? What are the different skill set they should have? What are the different practical knowledges they should be having? What are the tools? What are the workflow, reporting and structure? So we will see all those things in today's time. Welcome everyone. So my name is Fakruddin Rahif, and I am working as a senior security analyst at CyberSapiens. I am also certified ethical hacker, certified API security analyst, and also certified app practitioner. So in CyberSapiens, I mainly handle the Azure and API VAPT projects. So I have handled multiple projects throughout my tenure here at CyberSapiens. And apart from that, I also do handle the training batches. I guide interns. I train them related to the different topics on API as well as Azure. So that's something about me. So let's jump into today's session. So what does an Azure Pentester actually do? So Azure Pentester. So first of all, Azure, you guys might be aware of this term. So Azure is something that it's a cloud service provider. So you might have heard about AWS, you might have heard about GCP. So similarly, Azure is one of a cloud service provider. So they provide different kind of services for the organization. So as a pen tester, what we actually do is when the organization they set up their own cloud infra using Azure, so it combines with different features. So it combines with different features and services which is available in Azure, like app services, they have storage units, they have VMs provided. There are many different like SQL databases they will provide, blob storages. So all these are different features, different services provided by Azure. So now what will happen is uh, based on their requirement, based on the market demand, based on their company needs, they will have different configurations need to be done based on the different features in the Azure. So what the Azure pen tester actually do is they have to check out whether there is any misconfigurations or permissions done by this organization when they are setting up the Azure infra. They have to check for the services and the feature if they give any additional features, unnecessary configurations, or over excessive permissions, over excessive access. So mainly they'll have to identify the flaws in the misconfigurations. They'll have to find the loopholes in the setting or the configuration, the access levels, the permission levels, the user levels. So all these they have to check. The backend, what is the backend? The configurations what I have they have done for the features for hosting their app services, or for example they also have blob storages. So all these they have to keep on checking, like whether the configurations are properly done or not. So that goes through different phases. So let's move ahead and see what are those. So before we move into that, let's see what is the difference between Azure pen testing and traditional pen testing. So traditional pen testing is basically what I meant here is the web application VAPT or the physical VAPT. So main difference here is there is no physical components here. So everything is built in cloud. So there is no hardware to manage. So that is a one plus point. So mainly in the Azure, the difference is here we don't have the ports, or we don't have the servers, hardware, no plug and play. So it's all configuration in the cloud. So basically we are accessing another user's cloud infrastructure. So how we will get access, we will see later on. So now main difference is here there is no physical servers like computers, there is no ports, there is no data center hardware. So everything is managed in cloud. So we'll have to access the part where organizations have purchased, organizations have subscribed to different uh, what is that different services in the cloud. So they have already built, they have already configured, they might have hosted their web application. So we'll have to check the configuration, the back end, how they have hosted, how are their data actually saved in the cloud. So all those infrastructure configurations or the different VM settings. So we will try to, as Azure Pentester, we will try to check for those configurations. So the main difference is here we are trying to access the cloud infrastructure, but not like we are trying hardware testing. We are not plugging into our system and testing. So it's not like that. So that is the main difference between Azure versus the different kind of other uh, testings. So what are the key goals of Azure Pentester? So let's see. So now here there are multiple goals as a Azure Pentester they need to be aware of. So that is discovering the misconfiguration. First one. So as I've told in the previous slide, they'll have to be configuring different kind of services, different kind of features. So all they have to keep on configuring until their demand is met. So now, as a pen tester, what we should do is, or the key goals or their main objective of this overall Azure VAPT is to identify the misconfiguration and public exposure. Like for example, now they might have hosted web application. The web application, they will use a service called as app service, or they might use some services like blob storage. So they might be storing some of their images or files in the blob storage. Some unstructured data they might have hosted. So that might be very internal, that might be very sensitive. So they should not be like the configuration should be properly done. So as a VAPT, as a Azure VAPT, our main goal is to check whether the configurations are done properly, whether there are any uh, uh, unnecessary features or unnecessary configurations if they have enabled. So something like uh, so so public access. So now public access, if you see, the web applications are publicly available. So there might be few of the datas like something like endpoint like .sql or any configuration files, any of the admin files or admin endpoint. So those images or those files or any sensitive unstructured data. So those all might be publicly exposed. So those need to be avoided. So that is one of the key goals as a Azure Pentester one should be looking into. So one more objective is to uncover the excessive and unintended permissions. So now, so what exactly this is? Uncovering the excessive permission. So this is something which is related to the user roles. So now if a user, there will be different kind of user. So mainly there is something called as Active Directory. So here in Azure, we call it as the Azure Active Directory, AAD. It is also called as Entra ID. So if you search in portal of Azure, you will have to search it as Entra ID. So if you search it as Azure Active Directory, you will be only seeing the like it will be shown as Entra ID. So if you search Entra ID, that will be the Azure Active Directory where the user roles, user management is covered. So as a goal of Azure Pentester, other objective is to uncover this additional permission. So if a low level user, if maybe a guest user or some external user, if they have more permission, if they have some additional permission, which might be unintentionally done, so that also need to be checked out. So if they can access some admin level rights. So there are different roles in Azure like global level administrator, read only access, or there will be like admin level access will be there. So all those are different user level access where different user levels have different kind of permissions. So if a low level user, if any of the external user without the proper permission, if he is able to access any of the unintended files or unintended services because of some unintentional misconfigurations of additional permissions they have done while the user management is done. So those need to be like checked into. So that is one of the goals of the Azure Pentester. And next is the exposing sensitive and the data lakes. So there is something called as Azure Key Vault, where the sensitive certificates or sensitive keys will be handled. So if those kind of services are not properly configured, then that can be also lead to one of the great disaster in the Azure infrastructure. So those also need to be properly checked. And then we have the privilege escalation. So this is one of the key goal where once we get some access or from a low level user, if you're able to log in into any security level user, or if you're able to access some global level administrator, like now they might be giving us. So now how we begin with the pen testing of Azure is there will be a client. So they will have some subscription of like they will be having some subscription of some of the some user levels or some services, some files will be there. So these files, they will be accessing through tenant ID. So that is something which we'll discuss later on. So tenant ID, they will give us access to our email ID. So our email ID, we will be only having the read only access. So they will give us low level permission or low level account details. So using that low level account details, if you're able to get any global administrator, so that will be a privilege escalation. So that is one of the these are the key goals in a high level what a Azure Pentester need to be taken care of. So some of the objective as a part of Azure Pentester. Okay, so what are the important Azure concepts one need to be aware of? So mainly understanding the basics of Azure. So basics of Azure is getting to know about the overview, or getting to know what is tenant ID, what is subscription, what is resource, what is a resource group, storage account. So those are some of the basic components of Azure one need to be having a knowledge about, and what are the different permissions or user roles available. And also they should be knowing how to document the findings. So how to report the findings to a client. So that should be also one of the important concept one need to be aware of. So moving forward, we will see some of the basic components. So just a second. The Azure fundamentals one should be aware of. Okay, so there is something called as tenant and subscriptions. So as I discussed earlier slide, so we have some basic components one should be aware of. So one of them is tenant and subscription ID. So tenant is something like that stands on top of the hierarchy. So when a security researcher starts Azure VAPT, he will be getting access of the tenant ID of a particular user or a particular organization. So that organization will have tenant ID. So under a tenant ID, there will be different subscriptions. So subscription can be different folders. So each different subscription will have different resource groups. So that is a like hierarchical level. So on top, there will be tenant ID. Below that, there will be different subscriptions. So subscriptions can be one, or subscriptions can be multiple also. So under the subscription, they will have different resource groups. So under the resource group, they will have like all the different resources like app services or cloud infrastructure, or they might be having what is that, blob storage, SQL, APIs. So all those are different resources or different services what they have hosted. So that will be under the subscription, where subscription will be below tenant. So as a user, I or like if you are if you are working on Azure VAPT project, you will be getting access to your email ID, the tenant ID. So only you will be able to get a low level read only access. So that can be one way of getting access, or how we can begin with Azure VAPT. Or one more is they might be giving us some temporary account with having minimalistic of permissions like read only, or they might be only having a normal guest level user. So we'll have to test for getting some of the high level or privilege escalation. So that is something different. So coming back to this slide. So these are some of the basic components or Azure fundamentals one should be aware of. So next is the user roles, that is the different user management and RBAC policy. So RBAC policy is the role-based access control. So this is something like an IAM. So the identity access and management, where different user will have different roles like read level roles or admin level roles, or they will be having executional permission. So different user roles based on their authority, they will be getting the different kinds of access level. So different permissions, they will have different authorizations. So authorization is something like now one user might have authority to access some file. So other user might not have authority to access because of his different roles. So if he's a higher level roles like admin or global admin, he will have entire infrastructure, like that is a global admin. If he's just having resource access only to a particular resource group, then he won't be having the user roles, or he won't be having the permission for the different subscriptions. So that is how the different hierarchy works. So now here it is in the order, that is tenant. Under tenant we have subscription, and a subscription will have resource group. So resource group will have different resources. Based on that, there will be different user management and storage account. So storage account is something like there will be different storage accounts where, as the name itself suggests, it is used for storing the information. Like it can be sensitive information which public should not be having able to access. So based on their requirements, we can get the different access levels of the storage accounts, and we can set it up. We can configure it based on the requirements. So these are some of the basic Azure fundamentals one should be aware of. So what are the tools and practical skills one should be aware of? So that is Azure portal, Azure command line, there is PowerShell, and there is reporting and documentation. So now these are some of the basic tools. So Azure portal is the portal.azure.com, where when the user logs in, we will be able to see the entire dashboard. So the UI needs to be like familiar with like what exactly is happening, what is displayed in the screen. So like if you just click on resources, you will be able to see the different resources available. And we have Azure CLI. So Azure CLI that can be installed in Windows. So we can log in through the command line of the Windows, the Azure account. So not necessary it is only done through portal. We can also execute or we can also log in through command line with the Azure account, what is provided by the client. And also there is PowerShell. So in PowerShell, we can run different automations or different scripts or different tools like account tools. We can run those in the PowerShell. And also one more practical and important skill is documentation. So you should be able to express the things which you have found. So only having the technical skills will be not very much enough. So you'll able to properly document it. You should be able to like whoever is evaluating that report or whoever is checking those report might not be very good as per you. So you might be having all the knowledges of Azure VAPT, but the one who is evaluating or the client when they are trying to remediate the loopholes which you have found, so they might not having much ideas. So you should be having that clear reporting skills, like we should be properly uh, like a table like structure kind of thing should be followed. So we'll discuss later on at the end how we can do a reporting. So also we will see the different frameworks that can be specified or that need to be followed while doing the Azure VAPT. So beginning with, we have the MITRE attack. So this is one of the huge platforms. Under that, they have cloud metrics. So that helps the like common Azure techniques you can find, some of the case studies you can find, some of the tools and techniques based on the different resources or the different features will be available. And along with that, we also have OWASP Cloud Security Testing Guide. So that is one of the frameworks which we can follow. And we have penetration testing services. So that also need to be followed. There is a penetration testing standards, so not services. So that is the extraction standards, if I'm not wrong. And also we have CIS benchmark. The if we get any automation tools, if we get any VA tools like vulnerability assessment tools for cloud, so that will be following either of these frameworks. So those will be having these frameworks in the scanning, whatever it is done behind will be following either of one of these frameworks. And we can specify that in the report, like we have been following these kind of frameworks. So that is supposed to be mentioned. So now we'll see into the workflow. So like a step-by-step process. So beginning with the scoping and access. So scoping and access is like the initial phase where we like set up a meeting with client. We understand their requirement. We understand their infrastructure, the cloud infrastructure. What are their needs? What services they provide? So based on that, what kind of configuration they have done? So what are the different subscriptions they have? What are the different resources they have? So we'll understand entire scope. Then all the legal agreements will be done, and the initial access will be given to us. So based on their requirements, they will provide us the access. And then we have the recon. So recon is basically we will be beginning with some reconnaissance tools, or we will just go through the interface once we get access to their account. So we can visit their tenant ID, we can check out their different subscription, what are the features they have enabled, and also we can check out the enumeration part. So what are like we can use different tools to enumerate. So like it will enumerate the different user what are available, different features what are available. It will have some detailed configuration of their infrastructure. And then comes the exploitation part where it will validate, where we will validate the different misconfigurations, like what needs to be enabled if it is disabled. So that can lead to a problem if any of the guest level user, like if they will be giving us some low level users, some guest user with read only access. So by surfing on those user accounts or by just checking the different services on that user account, if you're able to find any of the critical information where we are not supposed to access, ideal scenario, so that will be if they are disclosing any of their admin account or global admin account along with the password, then we will be easily able to log in into those accounts. We will be able to edit, or we like entire infrastructure will be compromised. So that will be the exploitation part. And once again, the reporting part, which is also very important part. So entire process should be reported in a structured way by specifying all the different findings and mitigations, like in a structured way and a clear understanding manner. So this is the high level workflow of a Azure VAPT. So now we'll see Azure Recon with BloodHound. So BloodHound is a tool that is used to like map the user roles. So that is combined with the tool called as Azure Hound. So Azure Hound is used to get it will analyze the user role. So we will be given with the user account. So once we log in our user account, we will get access. I've just received from my backend team that my screen is freezed. Is it okay now? Yes, I hope the screen is fine now. Okay, so as we are discussing Bloodhound tool, so now Bloodhound tool, it is used to map the user roles. What are the different roles he have? What are the different user groups he has access to? So once we get access to one of the user credentials of an organization, so we can log in. So before we use the Bloodhound tool, there is something called as Azure Hound. So Azure Hound is used to get some of the files in a command line. We will we will demonstrate it in the command line. So Azure Hound. So we will get a file. So that information we will import into the Bloodhound tool, and from there we will be able to map the simple user roles. If it's a normal low level user, so we can just click on it and it will give us like what are the different user roles that particular user account which is provided to us. Okay, so before we move forward, let me show you how we can access the Bloodhound. I have Azure Hound installed here. Okay. Okay. So I have set up the tool here locally using the Bloodhound CLI and along with Podman. So we can use it with Docker. So since my system is not configuring with Docker, so instead of Docker, it will be listening with the Podman. So you can easily set it up and I will get an access to it. So I have configured it. So these are my credentials. And I will click on login. So it will ask me to import a file, like there is upload file. It's a JSON form. So in order to get the JSON format, as we have discussed, we have to use Azure Hound. So for that, again, I'm receiving a message like the screen is frozen. I'll just reshare my screen. Okay. I hope the screen is visible now. Okay, so going forward, so we will use the command line to log in. So I have already installed Azure command line. So just have to type Azure login, and I have a test credential here. So I can log in. So I can either log in through portal here. So this is the email ID. I can just log in it here by specifying the password. Or else I can also log in through the command line by typing AZ login. Okay, so let's wait until this get loaded up. So until that, okay. So in this way we can log in. So going to portal.azure.com by following the credentials. But in order to log in the command line, so now as we have told earlier, there is something called as tenant ID. So in order to get the tenant ID, tenant ID is required to access in the Azure account. So I'll show you like Azure account. Okay, so once again, I'm getting a message from backend saying that screen is stuck. So let me reshare.
Hello. So we will take a few minutes here just because we are fixing some backend issues. Please wait for some time because there is a laptop log. But I would love to just mention again to follow the link and add any of the questions you may have. This would be really helpful, and Raif would answer each and every questions for you. So if you guys haven't found the link yet, please find it in the chat. It's and please write any questions or answers you have. Yeah, I see you've raised your hand. I'm guessing it's because you have a question. Go to the chat and you'll find a link. It's a link to Slido. Any questions you have, please mention that.
Okay, so what we were discussing is, so we have Azure Hound and we have Bloodhound. Okay, so Azure Hound, so how to run this tool? So once the installation process is done, so you can easily get an installation file, a .exe file. So you can see, we'll just try with the one command now. So Azure Hound -u username. So we have our username here. So I'll copy this command. And we have the password. And we need a tenant ID. So in order to get a tenant ID, so I have not yet logged in. So I have to just type AZ login. It will prompt me the login details. And I will specify my details here. So I'll copy this. I'll click on next. And then the password. I'll click on sign in. So it'll ask me select a subscription ID. So since they have only one subscription ID, so I'll click on one. So now account has been logged in. So in order to get the Azure, in order to get the tenant ID, I'll have to type AC account show. So here I will get my home tenant ID as well as the tenant ID. So here, if you observe, both are same. So 2590 starting and ending with 72. So this is the tenant ID. So now here, what we will do is we have got the tenant ID. I will copy this. I will substitute it here. And I have my password. That is big tech 123. And I have username. I'll specify it here. And in order to save this output, I have to give -o followed by the file name. So I will copy this and I will specify it where I have downloaded my Azure account. So azure.exe file is there. So I'll paste it here and I'll click on enter. It will load all the details available in that particular user account. So now that is available here. You can see my tenant ID got saved now. So what we have to do is this JSON file. So this is a JSON file downloaded. So we have shared it in JSON format, which we can upload it here. I'll go to the Azure home folder, double click on it, click on upload and view file ingest history. So here it is, see, it is showing ingesting. So it is like a user account here. All your histories will be saved here. And if I just click on ID, so until it get completed, so we can get our ID here. So I'll click on the ID, or else we can go to explore and we can specify our username, Jose. So here you will be able to see the information of that particular user. So this is the account which they have given us. And here we'll be able to see the tenant ID also, the password last set. There are multiple details and we can see who is a member of. So is the member of these two. So all the different like user mapping, it will show us. So if I click on it, the roles, what are the different roles he has. So he has the roles in update manager field and also is a member of this IT desk, which has a different role also. So now that has the different roles like attribute defining, printer technician. So all of the different roles of this particular user. So in this way we will be able to like the mapping of this particular user, like a recon tool. So if you observe, all the tenant IDs will be same because it is under the same uh, tenant ID. So as I told, tenant ID is a topmost ID, a parent ID kind of thing. So under that, there will be different user IDs. There will be different subscription IDs, resource groups. So entire this thing belongs to one tenant ID. So tenant ID, if you want to see, if you have to just click on the username, switch directory. So you can see this is the directory ID. So directory ID is nothing but the tenant ID. But it is something same as this one. So you can either see it in the CLI command or else you can just visit your profile and you can get access to it. So if this particular user has different tenant ID, it will be listed here where each different tenant ID will have different like what is that, different subscription, different resource groups. So suppose this is an account of security tester. So if his multiple projects are going on, so he will be able to see different kind of tenant ID. So he will be only having read only access. So they will be only giving us a read only access. So now we can, like if you observe the user's main account, here there is one virtual machine which has been hosted. So if I just click on it, we can just see the different configuration settings here. So under settings, we can see the configuration settings. So here the configuration settings of the particular virtual machine, what they have set with the name of security PC can be seen. So one of the sensitive files which we can see is under operating system. So if you go to operating system here, there is a user data that is loading. So if you go below user data, so if you observe, there is a password here. This is nothing but a password of a security user. So now what we can do is we can try to log in. So this is something which we have got from a low level user. So this is just a user who is not a global admin level access, or you only have access to only this virtual machine and which has a different things like printing and other technician access. Like based on the low level user, he will have only certain set of permissions. So under that, there is a small file under user data. Here we can see there is a user called security user. So I'll copy this. Followed by their domain name. So we can try to log in it here with the password that is mentioned here. Okay. So now we will try to log in here. So once again, I'll go here. Here's the login. Click on enter. Continue. I will now try to log in whether this is available or not. So I'll copy this here, click on next, and the password what was specified there, I'll click on sign in. Only this app. One subscription ID we have to select. And now there is a command available here. Under operating system, we have seen. So here, this is a command. So command related to Azure storage blob. So blob is one of the storage feature available in which we can save different kind of files or images or PDFs or anything. So I'll copy this command and I will specify it here where the we have logged in just now. So when I enter this, so if you observe, we have got different kind of data like the tenant and subscription ID, which we already have. Then we have some of the alerting system. Okay, so here if you observe, we have global admin level account access. So that is someone belongs to Ryan and his account password, that is Azure admin 12345. So this is like a low level user has saved his password info of a global level access. So they have not properly failed to mitigate it. So in a low level user might be able to get access to it, or a guest user might be able to access it. So whoever has access to that particular virtual machine will be able to get access to their global admin account just by signing into this account. So this account might have all the credentials, all the accesses. So one of the main access is like getting the global admin level access. Like global in sense, he will have control over entire infrastructure, that is the entire tenant ID. So on all the other things like the database configurations, the user ID, password. So all these are the different settings of the particular infrastructure. So from one single user, we will be able to get access into it. So if you want, we can also try logging into this particular user, that is security user at mega big tech .com followed by this password. So we will be able to log in into the portal and we will be able to so check it manually. So that we also can be done. Or else since there was a command available here, we will be able to directly get access to the information what is available here. So it was available in config-latest.xml file. So this XML file has all this kind of information which is displayed in the command line. So either we can go through command line or we can just manually surf around the Azure portal and we'll be able to get access to it. So in this way, we were able to from the recon stage itself, we were able to find some of the information. Now we'll have to report it. So reporting part is one of the important phase where we'll have to specify the clearly document all the vulnerabilities which we have found. So while reporting, we can create a structured report for following with the title page like what exactly we are doing. So mainly Azure VAPT on the target or the company name, followed by the tools which we have used. We can also write an index of the vulnerability which we have found. We can also specify the security of the framework which we have used. So if you're using any other tools like now, there are different kind of tools. So each different tools will have different frameworks or the benchmarks what they have been following. So we can specify that. So, and then comes the reporting part, main part, where we can create a clean table like with serial number, vulnerability name, and we can specify the locations like in storage account or virtual machine. So we can specify the description like what exactly it is, and impact we can specify uh, like uh, what is the damage or what is the impact it can cause to the infrastructure, like entire compromising of the particular infrastructure, or if the public is able to access this particular information without any security controls kept in place. So, and along with that, at the end, you can also specify the mitigation, the fixes that can be applied into the in the documentation itself. We can specify what can be done, what their developer team can be done, what are the different misconfigurations that need to be corrected, what are the settings or firewalls that need to be enabled. So all those things can be properly documented. Like we can create a table which will be very appealing to. So this is one of the important phase of the testing where we'll have to specify our finding. We'll have to communicate our finding in a very easy and understandable way, where some non-technical person will be also able to specify will be able to understand the findings. So this is about the final stage, that is importance of reporting and documentation. So now we'll see how you can start your penetration testing journey. It's like from where you can begin. So like you can mainly begin with the Azure basics. So something what we have discussed now, like understanding the overview of the Azure portal and some of the basic resources what mainly the organization tend to subscribe, like the storage account, the VMs, the app services, the blob storage account. So all the basic services and also the basic terminologies, like what is tenant ID, what is subscription ID, what is the resource group, and how we can get access, what are the information we need from a client, what are the information the client should be sharing us, what kind of access they should be giving us, how they should be giving either through our email ID access, or they can create a temporary ID with low level access. So those are the basic terminologies which you need to be aware of. And also we can learn this all from Microsoft Learn. So Microsoft Learn is the best platform where we can just understand all the basic stuff. They will be explaining it through videos and contents for free, which is a very important like easily understandable, and it is freely available in Microsoft Learn. So as a beginner, we will be able to we will be able to know the important terminologies from that website itself. And if we want to practice, like we will be able to access the Azure Boot. So Azure Boot is done by OS community. So in order to host it, you will be needing an Azure free trial account. So Azure free trial account, you can create it you can create Azure free trial account from your card details, and you will be having access around 17,000 credits will be available. So you can use those credits, and like there will be few limitations since this is a free trial account. So you'll be able to access this Azure Goat Lab. And along with that, there is Pond Labs also. So Pond Labs, which is like a simulation kind of thing, which you have seen just now. So they will be giving us temporary IDs, so you can use that to learn and start your penetration testing journey. Along with that, some of the certifications we can use is once again the Microsoft Learn. So Microsoft Learn is similarly which I've explained just now. So they will be giving us badges and certificates. So there will be few assessments they will be providing. And if you complete their training, or if you complete their assessments, and if you complete their modules, so there will be different module structured. So you can just visit their website, and there will be multiple components, like Azure is one of the components, and beside that there will be different thing of Microsoft. So Microsoft has different components, there will be Office 365 and all those other structures. So based on that, you can just select Azure, and under Azure it will be like detailed in giving us a module. So as a beginner, you can just go for that one. And there is also IBM will be providing cloud badges and cybersecurity, the cloud related badges. You can get access to those. And also introducing our cybersecurity course, that is a Cyber Fusion, in which you can train with the Azure as well as AWS combined in one single specialization. So this will be so starting from very basic level. We will be teaching you with the terminologies, and we will be giving you with the fundamentals, followed by how we can set up the free trial account also, and the lab setup also will provide. And then we'll move into the penetration testing phase. We will teach you the documentation process. So there are different resources available in Azure. So we will be giving you like training on different resources, how we can find the misconfiguration on each, and the different resources which are available. So different features will have their own type of testings and tools available. So we will be giving you access, and we will be giving you and training you on the different resources. So both will be combined, that is Azure plus AWS. It will be a duration of 6 months, so you can get along like training with us, and you will be able to like get the experience from the industry standards. So this is about the Cyber Fusion course, where you will be trained to become an Azure Pentester as well as an AWS tester.
You can follow this and keep up with this. We have a regular source of good educational content and anything related to cybersecurity. Everything that you'd like to learn, all of them are regularly featured here, and plus a lot of resources to access. So, any questions related to the course? Cloud or web bug hunting? Okay, these questions will be answered by Raif. But if you would like to know anything about the course or how you could register, or like if you want to know more about the duration of this course, so basically, you will get to learn about 8+ in-demand cybersecurity skills in just 6 months, which is quite the number. And also another thing is, once you learn all of these courses, the primary thing is that you would also have internship along with training, and this is also for working professionals. So since this is a webinar just primarily for working professionals, we are going to be providing ensuring that everything is cohesively mentioned. You can check out our website, you can check out all the information related to it, and all you have to do is just enroll. And once you enroll, the course advisors would reach out to you and get to know your requirements, your timings, and give you like a good plan accordingly. Now, one more thing is like a few more things about this training program. You will have like monthly mock interviews, free ethical hacker certificate, and bug bounty course. And then that is like a completely free add-on. And then you'll also work on lab projects. And then you'll have lifetime video access. And then you will also get a free membership to the Hackers Club, where you can get all your questions clarified, and then 100% placement assistance. So in case you're looking to like switch your jobs, anything, this we would support you for the same. And then you will also have access to thousands of cybersecurity tools and materials. And one of the other things that is extremely important to know is this: you get to work with working professionals. You get to learn with working professionals. So that really makes a difference because you will be prepared for the industry. That is the level of expertise that you will be receiving once you enroll for this course. And this is a industry recognized certification, and you could really boost your career credibility, and primarily it's a gateway to career growth. And if I see a question related to the advanced cybersecurity domains, so you can choose about one specialized domain. We have a wide option. There are 4 domains, but you can either choose SOC monitoring, cloud security, network pen testing, or application VAPT. So all the info out of all these 4 options, you could always learn, pick accordingly. Now, under cloud security and AWS as your VAPT specialization, you get to develop hands-on expertise in AWS plus as your security architecture. So any information related to this, if you would like to know more about it, you could always visit our page on Instagram, on our website. You could even follow us on our socials, and this would really help and benefit everyone. So, Raif, if you're back, I do see there are quite a lot of questions that people have related to this. Yeah, so you could take this if you're back, Raif.
Yeah, Shabri, thank you. Just give me a
Oh,
minute.
okay. All right. Thank you.
So beginning with, as she told, recorded sessions will be available on YouTube. And so some of the free tools which you are able to access for penetration testing. So I'm assuming it for Azure. So that will be like, so one which I've told now, like maybe you can begin with Azure Hound. So that is a community edition which I am using. I think you can also go for it. And there is Azure Hound also, which is open source and free to use. Then we have Crawler tool, that is a VA tool which we can try to access. Some of the exploitation tools are like AAD internals, that is the Azure Active Directory penetration testing, and there is Microburst. So these are the different tools which you can like begin with. If you're if you're new to this field, then these are a few tools I think which you are able to just research on this, and that is freely available also. Okay, so next, So what is the career path is best, Azure, GCP or AWS? So I think as part of my research, what I have seen is mostly the clients they use are what is that? Azure and AWS is highly used the cloud service providing platform compared to GCP. So maybe I guess you can start with Azure and AWS is what I prefer. So then rest of it, it depends upon the market is what I believe. And then cost of this course, you can just contact us through the website. What is the most critical vulnerability you have found in Azure? How did I exploit it? So I have worked on few Azure projects. So one client is, okay, I'll not name the client. So I have able to find their like for most of this configuration related to their firewalls. And also mainly what we will be able to find is the misconfiguration in blob storage is like what I've mostly found in the critical way where I will able to like publicly available like from Google Docking itself, you will be able to easily get access to their blob accounts. So that will be like any of the PDF, their invoices will be there. So I also found few documents which they are not supposed to be accessible. So those kind of like sensitive files will be able to access. And then so there are quite so this is one thing which I get on top of my mind that is finding the publicly available sensitive files which they are not supposed to be showing it. And then I'm learning DevOps and AWS. So or after completing, which should I learn this to? Should I learn this together? So if that is a question, then so I think quite a different consideration will come on that. So one thing is upon your grasping power is what I believe, and then like first learning basic DevOps concepts, like as part of DevOps is basically development and operation parts, no? So and there will be automations also. So I think time management will also come into consideration. And at the same time, the different concepts of clouds, that is the AWS part will be also there. So it is up to the personal level, it will be having different differences also. So considering different opinions, we will be able to understand. So as part of technical this thing and my personal opinion is, I think based on my experience, I think I would go to like any one of the domains and then move into another domains. Is this is what I'd suggest. The PPT and the video like you'll be able to get access from the YouTube. I am working, but I concern about the timing when class will be available. I am switching to cloud infrastructure. So our classes will be mainly around evening, around 4 p.m., 4:30. So during that time range. So we'll be also providing with the recording of our the training classes. So in case if you are not able to join it live, you will be giving with the video access also. How can developers ensure Azure security while using serverless Azure functions and logic? So the thing is, Azure will provide different features. So one of the important feature is the security because there will be too many data that will be handling in the Azure infrastructure. So security will be also coming. So if you create Azure free trial account, you'll be able to see Defender. So that Defender is like the antivirus kind of thing, a firewall kind of thing. Firewall is a different concept. So there is a defender for cloud. So we just search on the internet, we'll be able to see. So that will be providing the security also. So enabling and disabling will be also like a misconfiguration. So they should be properly setting it up. So can I get free access to the tools required for? I think I've already answered this. So apart from Azure, if you want free tools for different domains, also it is available. So I think mainly if you are looking into the web VAPT, then there are many a number of free tools. And if you are doing for the API VAPT, also there are free tools, Burpsuite, Postman. Uh, there are command line tools also which we can use it for pen testing. For mobile also, I think we have different freely openly available tools, MobSF and emulator, Android Studios, and we have some exploitation tools. All those are different tools that can be freely available. So there are community editions. I think we can adjust with the community edition only. So we have worked on multiple projects. So there will be few limitations. I guess that will be covered up by other tools also. Yes. So anything else? What are the free Azure portal apart from uh, the free trial? If you're asking apart from free trial, if you want to practice on Azure portal, so I have shown in the PPT, so something called as Pond Lab. So you can try that. So it's not free. So I think 1 or 2 labs are free in that. So rest all are paid, but it's like a simulation kind of thing. But I suggest you all like you can just go for the free trial of Azure itself. So in that you can freely surf through the entire portal. But in order to host some resources, there will be limitations. I think there are few VMs you can just try it out. So they will be keep on updating their guidelines. So earlier and all for the free trial account, we used to have that access or the freedom to create multiple VMs. So now it is like there are few limitations and only selective VMs or few services are available for the free trial. But you can once again, as I told in this PPT slides, Azure Goat is one of the lab which you can try it out. So for that you need Azure free trial. But if you're asking apart from the Azure free trial, there is something called as Pond Labs. You can check it out.
I hope this was a very insightful session, and I really hope to see everyone soon for the next session as well. Have a great day, everybody, and do please fill out the feedback form. Thank you.
Yes, thank you all.